on a low end, $500 million. That some of the estimates are as low as $500 million for special elections. Yeah, I'm sorry, no, not $1 million, not $500,000, $500,000 at the low end. But the cost projections for special elections, like we've had before for the East Block, had gone up to $1.5 million. So this political compromise is at the expense of tax dollars here for all Wanetians. Now, as was mentioned, and what do we get for this compromise besides a higher expense for a special election? We also get, estimates have been a reduction in participation by Wanetians of anywhere up to 80% of lower turnout if we kept this referendum in March. Again, for the expense that we would incur for a special election, this is not a political compromise. This is just fiscal irresponsibility. So, and furthermore, there is no assurance, as has been mentioned before, that after November elections, that the March referendum might not in itself be simply voted to not continue or further push it ahead. If that's what at that point the board decided. So there's a good possibility that if you're making political compromises for your seat, that you might make more political compromises after the election is over. And we also have concerns about any other outside funded campaigns that might come in to try to sway our decisions that should be made here locally by Wanetians. We've had organizations that are outside funded organizations such as Americans for Prosperity that are actually an organization that's against prosperity, against Marta and public transit initiatives. And again, that is all at the expense of taxpayers paying for a special election that is absolutely not necessary and comes with no benefit to taxpayers to move, to not hold this election in November. So we call on the board to continue this discussion and basically have a reconsideration and ensure that we have this referendum on Marta expansion. And what, Representative, we're going to open up.
Thank you, Reverend Lopez, and thank you all too for coming. In fact, you heard about voter turnout, you heard about the fiscal responsibility, the irresponsibility of our elected commissioners. And what I'm here to talk, it is politics. It is definitely politics. They are suppressing what you want to do is suppress votes. My concern is if you could have an alcohol vote Sunday brunch bill on the ballot in November to bring out a certain class of people, you definitely could have had the same thing on the ballot to bring out transit. My concern is that what we're saying, what our elected leaders, which have failed us to say is that alcohol is more important than getting the people around and stopping congestion in Gwinnett County. What I have to say to my colleagues to the other side is that if you stop congestion on Pleasant Hill Road and Jimmy Carter and those areas, if you live further north, you'll have an easy access to get to Atlanta. The more cars you can take off of the roads, the better off that you will be traveling back and forth from Atlanta, because we all are going to Atlanta. We're all going south. So I definitely want you all to realize that I do believe it was political, suppressing votes. We do have some candidates here that are running for office. Sure, we're concerned about our leadership, and I'm looking forward to the election in November. Maybe we can change some of that leadership, because again, I was not in the room when the deal was cut or made. I do hope that someone asks for an open record request of all information that was talked about Marta. Because again, I think the county, the citizens deserve transparency. They deserve that. They deserve to know exactly what deals were cut. They need to know that. I want to make sure that you all are aware that HB 930, the chairman had to know about HB 930 because it went into the hopper on February the 13th. That's when it went into the House hopper. And it was signed by the governor on May 3rd. So therefore, all I'm saying is you had time to prepare. Our leadership has failed us, and we need to make sure that they know that they have failed us at this time, because they knew about HB 930. They knew that we were looking to bring transit. They failed us in 1991, which was the year we had Marta on the referendum. All I'm saying is right now it is time for 1 million people in Gwinnett County to get back and forth to work, to the doctor, to sporting events, to whatever they want to do. So we should not have played politics with this decision to bring Marta to Gwinnett County. I want to open it up for questions. I have Representative Karen Bennett. I also have Representative Samuel Scott. I have candidate Donna McLeod, running for House District 105. I have Commissioner Ben Coop running for District 2. Marlene running for our Senate District.
Cheryl Moses.
Cheryl Moses, I'm sorry.
That's all right, running for Senate District
Cheryl
9.
Moses running for Senate District 9, along with Samuel Scott, who is the Vice Chair of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus. Anyone have anything to say?
I have a question. Are we on time to include in the ballot the referendum, or have Gwinnett County a deadline for include that referendum in November?
To answer that question, I do think because it was something that was that by Marta's board that there had to be a 90-day review period, and today will be 91, so we do have time if they act now. And I think the biggest thing was to try to wait it out. And I honestly believe that. I don't know if the Marta board was part of this or not because they didn't take any action. If they would have taken action, then I think we'd be a whole lot better off. I just wanted to make sure that we had this press conference exactly 7 days after they had that vote for us to think about what is taking place. You all have written about it every day. You all have talked about it every day. And we just wanted to make sure that the people of Gwinnett had an opportunity to realize there's still going to be an election in November, and that's why we need to make sure that we need to change the leadership that we do have.
So would the commissioners have until October, they could change their mind and get it on, into September to get it on November, or when?
It's 30 days.
Okay.
HB 930 was
So 30 days prior.
prior to the referendum date.